as I continue to have these experiences and ride with these people and see this country on two wheels, I just had a vision of, I want this to be shared with more people. This is such an amazing place to ride a bike. These are such amazing people to share the road with, that I just had a vision of, other people have to experience this, and I want to be able to share this with others. And that was really the roots of the Pura Vida Cycling Challenge, of really a cultural immersion using cycling to see this beautiful country that when we go through these stages, we're all on bikes, we speak different languages, we're sharing the road together. The local Costa Ricans that are ticos and ticas, you know, they're part of our family here. And it's the athletes that come down and the locals that are part of this group. We're all one big family on the road. We're different abilities, and it doesn't matter. We get to the start line together. We get to the finish lines together. We roll together. We laugh together. We tell jokes in different languages together. It's really, really special to see this amount of fun and this amount of connectivity really between these two different groups, and it's really, really special to share.
Welcome back to the Yogi Triathlete Podcast. I'm Jess, and I'm here with my co-host Dan Casey and translator today, and we are thrilled to be coming to you guys in front of a live audience. From El Bunker for the Pura Vida Cycling Challenge charity event. But first, we are coming off a very successful stage 4 of the cycling challenge, and today we rode Sacramento Barva. It is the shortest ride of the challenge, but I would say arguably one of the most difficult. It's a beyond category climb known as the Queen Stage. 2 pitches in the climb look almost unrideable, but the advice is stay patient and keep grinding and you will make it. And we all did. It was absolutely incredible. I summited this mountain with 4 other women today. Just so powerful, so incredible to see these women ride. And at this point, I am going to hand it over to Dan. And Dan, you are the roots. You are the foundation of what has brought El Bunker together with us gringos and the dream of Pura Vida Cycling Challenge, which we're all living out. So just give us a little bit of background. How did you get involved with all of this?
Sure. Well, I lived here from 2006 to 2013, and while I was living here and an avid cyclist, I moved here and had my bikes with me and started riding. I started meeting the local community, and I met so many incredible people along the way. Some are here today. Some aren't able to be here today, but have been a huge influence on this event. And as I lived here and I trained here and I rode these amazing routes and met these amazing people and stopped at the fruit stands and found the right bakeries to eat where I could get some snacks along the way. And now, for example, the bakery we went to yesterday on yesterday's stage, Anna, who still works at that bakery, has known me for 17 years. I've been going to that bakery since 2006. I was probably the first gringo cyclist that came there back then, and she would see me weekly, and I'd come by and I'd get my snacks along the way. So as I lived here and went through this experience, I met so many great people. My friends were cyclists. Some of my best friends were cyclists. We would share the road together. My Spanish got to be good enough where I could communicate in solamente español. I could speak only Spanish with them. And they just welcomed me in, and it felt really, really special, and it felt like an amazing experience. And as I continue to have these experiences and ride with these people and see this country on two wheels, I just had a vision of, I want this to be shared with more people. This is such an amazing place to ride a bike. These are such amazing people to share the road with, that I just had a vision of, other people have to experience this, and I want to be able to share this with others. And that was really the roots of the Pura Vida Cycling Challenge, of really a cultural immersion using cycling to see this beautiful country that, you know, when we go through these stages, we're all on bikes, we speak different languages, we're sharing the road together. The local Costa Ricans that are ticos and ticas, you know, they're part of our family here. And it's the athletes that come down and the locals that are part of this group. We're all one big family on the road. We're different abilities, and it doesn't matter. We get to the start line together. We get to the finish lines together. We roll together. We laugh together. We tell jokes in different languages together. It's really, really special to see this amount of this amount of fun and this amount of connectivity really between these two different groups, and it's really, really special to share.
I mean, it's just a spectacular thing to experience, coming off of this climb today, which also includes a massive descent down 30% grades that we rode up, and we're all cooked, and the sun is out, and we're coming up to these stoplights, and Abel, who we're going to hear from today, he had music in his back pocket, and we're at a stoplight, and we're all dancing on our bikes, and we're singing, and we're laughing, and we're yelling so loud we're losing our voices, and it's absolutely one of the most transformative experiences I have had the pleasure to engage in this lifetime. And so we're so psyched to be here at El Bunker. I had an inspiration, texted you before we came down here, and you said that sounds epic to do a live podcast. So here we are.
And let's talk a little bit about El Bunker and what this place is.
Please.
So, the leader of this crew in this small town of Tambor of Alajuela, where a lot of really strong cyclists have come out of. We have juniors here who are under 20 years old. We have, guys and gals that are over 60 that ride with us. But the bunker is really ground zero for this whole Pura Vida Cycling Challenge experience, and it's the cycling hub in this town of Tambor, Alajuela, led by former pro cyclist Joel, who has his shop here. He's in the automotive upholstery business, so he does all his work here. But this is also the cycling bunker, where they have we have our own cycling workshop here. We can do all the work on the bikes. He has an inventory of wheels, bikes, components here. So anyone in the community that needs to borrow a bike or needs to build up a bike or needs a component, needs some help, this is a really kind of ground zero for the Pura Vida Cycling Challenge, and even more so for the community of Tambor, Alajuela, for the cycling community to come together, start rides here, end rides here, and support each other along the way. So Joel, this is his home, this is his workshop, and this is his cycling bunker all in one, and one of my favorite places in the world to be.
And tell us a little bit about the charity event, which is really the highlight of this episode. And again, we're going to hear from some of the local riders here, and thank goodness that you speak Spanish, because you're going to be our translator. But you guys, listeners, we just couldn't not have these guys on the show today. So I hope you really enjoy the experience of hearing them speak in their native language, and also just the beautiful skill that Dan has to translate that to English.
For sure. And the charity event is really at the center of our entire challenge here. So the way it started was I would come down here to ride a few times a year while I was living after I moved back to the U.S. in 2013, I would still come back here to reconnect with my friends, bring my bike, I would ride, and I know the economic situation down here, that sometimes buying a new derailleur isn't the easiest thing to do. Sometimes even a new chain or new spokes for a wheel, all of that stuff, there can be an economic barrier to keeping a bike on the road. So as I was coming down here on my own, personal vacations, bringing my bike to ride with this crew, I saw that there was a need for some gear to keep this crew on the road and keep their bikes in order. So I just asked my friends in Phoenix, Arizona, some of my friends that I ride with, and they were super generous. This was probably 8-10 years ago, probably like 9 years ago when I first started coming down after I moved back. And I would come down with boxes of stuff, and I couldn't believe how much secondhand gear, cycling gear, just a small community that I ride with. One group in Phoenix, the Bruce Brothers, have been extremely generous still to this day, up to full bikes that we're bringing down here for this crew. So jerseys and bibs and shoes and helmets and sunglasses and computers, all this stuff, we just get secondhand from our personal network. There's been people that have been involved in the challenge from a standpoint of donating gear to us and haven't been able to make the trip yet. But these people that are donating gear from the U.S. or from other parts of the world that makes it down here, these people are a huge part of the Pura Vida Cycling Challenge. Even though they haven't ridden a mile with us yet, that contribution is incredible. So, this community is able to stay on the road because of these generous donations from the supporters of our Pura Vida Cycling Challenge. The other thing to keep in mind is the bike, especially in rural communities like this in Costa Rica and other developing countries, the bike is used as a form of transportation. Like the bike is the vehicle to get to work. So a broken down bike means a compromised ability to get to work. And economically, for a family here, that's a significant deal. So sometimes we take for granted some of these things, in a country that is full of abundance, and we're so blessed to be in the United States. But you come down here and, a new wheel is a huge deal, a new derailleur, a new chain, a new helmet, some of the stuff that keeps both young and more senior riders on the road. It can't be overstated, the importance of those contributions, and the charity is fundamental as the center of the Pura Vida Cycling Challenge.
Yeah, and I'm sitting here, and I know we're capturing this on camera as well, but I'm sitting here and looking at all these amazing donations, including a bike. And so it might get a little bit rowdy in here, you guys, and we told these guys to just be themselves and have fun, and they're going to be coming into the bunker here to get the donations. But first, we're going to hear from Joel himself. Dan's going to translate, and I think what you guys are going to hear is the ultimate respect that this community has for this man, because it's probably going to get a lot more quiet than it is right now with you and I talking.
Yeah, Joel is the man. He's a leader of this whole group, a very dear friend of mine. His entire family is. So he's going to say a couple words to the crew about the significance of this day, the significance of this event, and we'll pass it over to him.
All right.
Muchachos, por favor, atención. Bueno, como se dan cuenta, estamos en una entrevista en vivo. Es algo nuevo, es algo muy bonito. En realidad hay que agradecer porque esto es una iniciativa de ellos muy linda. Creo que es muy llamativa para nosotros. Agradecerles por esta venida a todos, los nuevos, estos que volvieron de nuevo. Qué bonito que llegaron. El clima no nos ha favorecido en nada hoy, ni ayer, ni ningún día. Ha sido increíble esto, increíble, pero los días han estado muy lindos. Por todas las regalías, muchísimas gracias. Otra bicicleta, no se le va a dar a nadie por el momento, lo vamos a pensar, lo vamos a analizar y a ver qué hacemos con ella, porque no nos vamos a volver loquillos.
Solo para traducir un rato. And so for our Equipo Gringo, our Gringo team, he's just saying, thank you guys for being here. It's a special day. It's great to see familiar faces and some new faces as well. Also commenting on the weather. The weather has done us no favors this week. There have been some hard, tough, hot days. But a real special thanks for the foreign team for being here. The charity is we're gonna launch the charity here in a few minutes. We do have a complete bike. He's not quite sure who on the team is gonna get that bike yet, but we're gonna see about sizing and need and take it from there.
No solamente es agradecerle a ellos de que pues vienen aquí, pueden ir a otros lugares increíbles, de lindos, y les gusta el búnker, ve que interesante. Agradecerle a toda la parte del grupo que nos acompaña entre semana, el sábado y el domingo. Sabemos que están más libres, entonces nos acompañan más, pero los que vienen entre semana les agradezco de verdad montones porque es una compañía muy linda para ellos, para mí, verlos, digamos, como jefe de filas del grupo, por decirlo así, pero es muy bonito que tengan esa iniciativa, de verdad, unos sacando vacaciones, otros del ratico. Entonces, agradecerle a todos y de verdad, Daniel, a ustedes agradecerles montones.
Muchísimas gracias a ti. He's just saying thanks to everybody here, especially for the team, the bunker crew. We had huge turnouts over the weekend. Saturday's ride, Sunday's ride must have had our Gringo team plus probably 40 to 50 Ticos. So huge rides, huge support for this event, and especially for the people that are here today, able to take off work on a Monday or a Tuesday or a Wednesday as we do our last 3 stages here. Very special for this local group to make a sacrifice on behalf of supporting our charity event, and also saying thank you again to us, the Gringo team, for putting together the Pura Vida Cycling Challenge and making it a special place. And he says, there's a lot of different places we could go in the world to do an event like this, and we choose to come here to Tambor. We choose to come to the bunker. We choose to be with this crew and this family that is so special, and it's an amazing place and an incredible family to spend time with on the road.
Gracias.
Muchas gracias. Pura vida. Gracias, Andy. Un abrazo.
And then we're going to call over a couple of people one by one and have some little mini interviews here.
Y vamos a agarrar uno por uno.
Is Miss Ellie here? You want to start with Ellie? Mm-hmm. Miss Ellie here? All right, we have Ellie, who is Joel's daughter-in-law and one of the strongest women cyclists I have ever had the blessing to ride with. And Ellie, I want to ask you about just the population of women who have been coming on this challenge and riding, and what does that mean to you, and how has that helped you grow?
Bueno, muchas gracias por la invitación. Estoy muy feliz, la verdad. Creo que esta experiencia, bueno, es más que hacer los 5 días, es compartir con amigos. Y si quisiera hablar, digamos, de cómo va creciendo y cómo nos vamos uniendo como mujeres, la verdad es que es súper bonito. Por ejemplo, hoy íbamos todas súper empoderadas. De mi parte, bueno, han sido poquitas mujeres aquí, pero yo siempre trato como incentivar, ¿verdad? Que ellas estén entrenando, que busquen cómo hacer ciertas actividades entre semana para que vayan fortaleciéndose, pero en realidad siempre estoy muy feliz y me encanta motivar a otras mujeres y estoy más que feliz siempre de compartir con ustedes que están acá.
Ellie was just commenting that she loves the event and she's thankful for being here, climbing up today, seeing the capacity, the ability of this group of women climbing up that mountain and on a road that rivals any HC climb that you'll see in Europe or elsewhere. That today's ride and to see these women doing what they were doing is extremely inspirational. And she continues to try to motivate women here locally to have the discipline to keep training and to be a part of an event like this that's very special, that she feels very blessed to be part of this and continuing her outreach locally to women here to reach to be part of this event as well.
And Ellie, you're such an inspiration. You're a mom, you're a wife, you're a cyclist. But here's the question I have for you. How did you get so strong in 1 year? You absolutely have been blowing us away. And the only reason I feel she was riding with me today is because she's already got, 3 days of hard climbing in her legs. And I felt so honored to be so close to you on that climb today. But did you increase your training? What did it look for you? Did you have an inspiration to just get really strong this year?
Ok, voy a contar todo, está bien. Sí, realmente ya 3 días es cansado, pero realmente, digamos, para mí hoy usted fue la motivación. O sea, usted estaba súper fuerte. Yo la veía ya y yo como, tengo que seguir. Y la verdad es que quise quedarme hoy como apoyando a todas las mujeres. Tampoco es como que podía ir allá adelante, pero digamos, sí me quise quedar con ustedes. Y, digamos, algo que he estado haciendo es como que encontré una app donde trabajo mi cuerpo como esta parte de aquí. Entonces eso me ha dado más fuerza y he empezado a incrementar un poquito de nadar. No soy profesional ni sé muchas técnicas, pero trato y eso me ha mejorado la respiración. Y cuando es verano aquí puedo salir 1 hora diaria a entrenar. Eso me ayudó este año.
Perfecto. So she says today the motivation was you. And that she was so impressed by your riding, your strength, and she's like, I just got to keep up. So that was a big part of her motivation today and how special it was to ride with you guys. And she said her training, she's worked on core strength. She's worked on, she's added some swimming to her training as well to build up some of that capacity. So between her core exercises, adding swimming and biking 1 hour a day.
Yeah.
Is it 1 hour every day? Y también fines de semana?
Fines de semana fondo.
Fines de semana fondo, domingos.
Y cuidando la comida.
So being careful or watching her diet, training 1 hour a day, plus they do a fondo, a big ride on Sundays, and she'll go out on the fondo ride on Sundays with this group led by Joel. So those are things that she's been able to dial in over the last year or so to kind of bring her level up a bit. It's amazing. It's amazing to see.
Ese es el secreto.
Yeah, it really shows. And, we always talk about how wonderful the climbing and the riding is here. But, you were a huge reason why I came back, to see you again.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, it's really touching. So thank you. Thank you for, that our listeners get to hear your voice. And I hope that they get to come down here and meet you someday. And we encourage more women to come down and, just get on the bike and get on these climbs. It's really special. So thank you for being a part of this podcast. Thank you so much.
Gracias a ustedes.
All right, Dan, who are we calling up here next? This is so fun. I feel like I'm on The Price is Right.
How about, let's grab Abel.
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 Which I feel like this
Abel is able.
Yeah, I feel like this community knows Abel because we've talked about Abel on the podcast before. So you'll probably have to translate this question for him. I want to know how has it been riding next to the gringos?
¿Cómo sientes platicando a la par de un grupo de gringos, un grupo de extranjeros, digamos?
Es una experiencia muy, muy bonita. Siempre lo he dicho que, creo que todos los ciclistas o todos los que compartimos esto tenemos algo dentro, como una semillita. Uh-huh. Que, ejemplo, subimos a Sacramento y nos fue mal, queremos volverlo a intentar para que nos vaya mejor. Entonces eso he visto y le he dicho a todos los gringos que han venido, que los veo finos, como que se preparan ya porque ya saben a lo que viene. Entonces es una experiencia bonita porque es un reto que ellos se ponen. Nosotros lo vemos cotidiano porque somos de aquí. Ajá. Pero es chido que ellos se preparen para poder lograrlo. Y uno ve como ejemplo a Débora, uh-huh, primera vez que viene y que sube. Y uno sabe lo fuerte que es. Lo fuerte que es en realidad la ruta.
Sí, exactamente. He's saying that, when cyclists come down here and he rides with these groups, that there's always he calls it a common seed or a common thread of it doesn't really matter where you're from, that we're all part of the same group. We have something in common already and through the sport of cycling and through sharing these days together, that's really special. And he's also very impressed of the amount of preparation that the group that we bring down here has without even having ridden any of these rides before. So he sees, like, for example, Deb or Johan come down to experience these rides for the first time. Robin's been here a few times now. But to see that some of the new faces come down and they're prepared, they're ready to go even though they don't know what's coming. He's like, we're from here, we know what these rides are, but to see the level of preparation that these people have taken to make sure that they're ready for this event is very impressive.
Well, I just want to thank Abel. The first 2 days of riding were tough for me. Was it the first 2 days? Yeah, the first 2 days. But the first day especially was really tough. And he stayed by my side. And Douglas, who we're also going to hear from today, they were right next to me. And, Douglas picked some flowers for me and stuck them in my pocket. And Abel was playing music and we were singing and we were laughing. And there's quite a language barrier between he and I. But he's one of my favorite people down here. And certainly to have him by my side, I feel very safe and protected and loved, and I appreciate it.
Estaba contando que los primeros 2 días ella no tenía la fuerza como ella tiene hoy, uh-huh, que era unos días un poco más difícil para ella y que tiene mucho en la corazón para ti y para Douglas, porque ustedes han ayudado a ella mucho,
sí,
en esos caminos, en las subidas, en apoyar a ella. Y solamente necesitaba un par de días para aflojar las piernas, uh-huh, un poco, y ahora está subiendo súper bien, pero ella dice con un gran abrazo a ustedes por la ayuda que ofrecieron a ella.
Ya, y es como parte también del agradecimiento, o uno se pone como, eso es un decir de nosotros, en los zapatos de ustedes, uh-huh, uno se pone en los zapatos de ustedes y uno jamás quisiera que algo les llegara a pasar, y uno hace todo lo posible de cuidarlos, más que uno es aquí residente y toda la hora de cuidarlos, porque si yo anduviera en otro país me cuadraría, ajá, que no me pase nada, ¿me entiendes? Y que uno les dice alto, que izquierda o derecha, y uno no habla español, pero ahí uno va intentándolo todo el camino.
You're talking a little bit about the universal language of cycling. Of you might not recognize the street signs or not familiar with the roads, but it doesn't matter. He's here because he wants to put himself in your shoes. Of this is a new experience. This is something that's unfamiliar territory for you, uncharted waters. Some of these rides. They do them all the time, but he's just like, hey, if I was in another country, I would love for someone to help me out and just help point the way. And so putting himself in your shoes can just bring a little bit of that out as far as just making sure you're taken care of and that your experience here in Costa Rica is a pleasant one.
And it is. Gracias, Abel.
Mucho gusto.
Yes. And next up, we're gonna talk to the other guy who totally hooked me up on the first day of riding when I was struggling, and we were having fun. He was helping me, putting his hand on my back and helping me up some of the climbs that I was struggling on. I didn't have my legs yet. So I want to thank him for that. And I also want to ask Douglas about, the impact of this Pura Vida Cycling Challenge on his experience and growth as a cyclist here.
Ella dice, gracias por el apoyo y ayuda en los primeros par de días, los primeros 2 etapas, que tú y Abel ayudó a ella mucho. No tenía las piernas inicialmente, ya ahora sí. Pero gracias por todo su apoyo en eso. Y la pregunta es, de este evento, ¿cuál es el impacto a su vida como ciclista, el evento del Pura Vida Cycling Challenge?
¿Impacto?
Sí, el impacto como ciclista, impacto como atleta. ¿Qué significa el evento?
Significa compartir, ayudar a los demás compañeros como un grupo importante, disfrutar cada día como que si fuera el último. El ciclismo es vida para mí. Y lo disfruto cada día como que si fuera el último.
So he just said, this is about sharing experiences with the people that come down here. So for him, it's about sharing the road, sharing the country, helping to guide people. He's one of our guides. He's one of the guys that's there every day. So for him, it's a shared experience. It's an opportunity for growth, and that's a huge part of what this is all about. This event is all about for Douglas.
And Douglas is another one that provides entertainment for us on the rides with his amazing speaker coming out of his back pocket, but I also heard he has a water bottle speaker. So yeah, I want to ask him, is AC/DC one of his favorite bands?
Ella sabe que tú tienes las parlantes en la bici y siempre con la música y la vibra de la fiesta, que nosotros gustamos un montón, y ella quiere saber cuáles son las bandas mejor, sus favoritos que le gusta, AC/DC o son otros. ¿Qué es lo que quiere? ¿Qué le gusta?
En realidad escucho de todo un poco, pero me gusta mucho la música regional mexicana.
¿De qué es?
Regional mexicana.
Regional mexicana.
Sí.
Qué bueno.
Y la música, la guaracha colombiana, que es electrónica.
Ah, qué bueno. Electrónica colombiana. Yeah. Qué bueno. Sí. Y sigue con sus parlantes y su música, porque para nosotros es un tipo de ambiente en la bici que para nosotros es súper divertido. Ellos estaban haciendo unos pasos de baile allá arriba en la montaña, y esa es parte de la vibra del evento. Entonces, con toda la libertad de meter su parlante y subir el volumen un poco y vamos. Y disfrutar.
Listo.
¿Sí?
What was that? What was all that you were just saying?
I just told him how much we enjoy his music, how much we enjoy what it brings to the group, to the rides. That we can have there's a dance party at a couple of the red lights today, and I said, bring your speakers, turn the volume up a little bit, and continue to bring that energy to these rides, because it's super special. It's a ton of fun, and today we had music playing. 5 or 6 guys were wearing wigs. It was just, it's loose and it's fun, and it needs, that's what this is all about. So Douglas adds to that environment, you know, he can go as fast as he wants with the front group. He can hang in the back to help the back of the group, and he's done it all. So tú has estado en la cola del grupo y en la cabeza del grupo y en la mitad también, y tú tienes la capacidad de hacer lo que quieres para nosotros. Es un buen gusto que tú se ve donde nosotros necesitamos ayuda y tú se va allá, y eso es ser guía y ayudar a nosotros un montón. Le agradezco muchísimo. I just told him he goes wherever he's needed without any reservation, without any question. Like if he's needed at the back, he goes to the back. If he's needed at the front, he'll sprint to the front. If he's needed in the middle of the pack, he'll stay in the middle. So he is an incredible rider, an incredible asset, a colorful addition to the Pura Vida Cycling Challenge, and we love having him here.
Yes. Gracias, Douglas. Gracias.
Pura Vida. Gracias.
Pura Vida. Okay, who are we going to bring on next?
Bizcocho.
Bizcocho.
Diego, Alejandro.
Bizcocho, also known as Diego. You got to understand.
Also known as Alejandro. He has 3 names, and I think he has a 4th.
Oh my God, they have so many names. Yenny
impossible to keep up.
Yenny, also known as Jennifer Volman. Yenny and I have said that they just need to wear jerseys with their names on them, just all their names. Yes. Yes, and so Diego is Ellie's husband and Joel's son. So we're so thrilled to have you here. And what does it mean to you to see this immersion of the gringos down here and the charity event? And how do you feel it has helped the community grow?
Ella dice, en este evento, con el grupo que llega y el evento de donaciones y esas cosas para el grupo de ciclismo, ¿cuál es el impacto en tu vida y en la vida en toda la comunidad de Tambor de Alajuela?
Bueno, primero, darle las gracias de venir, estar aquí. De cada 4 meses vienen, es bonito compartir con personas de afuera que no son ticos, y entonces uno ve cómo son diferentes, estar así y que vengan a lo mismo que es el ciclismo, que es lo que nos gusta. Pues es divertido para todos hacer estos 5 días el reto. Aparte de las donaciones, tratamos pues de los que tengan pues fallos aquí mismo en el grupo, de algún fallo mecánico en la bicicleta o algo, pues si se le puede dar del repuesto que sirva, se le da. Y después de ahí, la idea es como tratar de ver quién más va necesitando, o si vemos gente que está en la calle, que ocupa, ¿verdad? Hey, mira, se me jodió el aro de un pasador, una cadena o algo, entonces uno trata de... ¿Y
qué significa en eso? Si alguien tiene pasador malo, ¿qué significa? ¿Que pueden pasar aquí a agarrar uno?
Sí, buscamos primero, como yo mismo hago de mecánico, entonces tratar de, vamos a ver si realmente le sirve o no le sirve, porque a veces si el pasador es muy viejo y anda manillas muy nuevas, entonces no siempre se puede, pero se trata de hacer pues lo posible. Hay una historia de hace como un mes, andaba yo entrenando en Grecia, venía de regreso y un señor como de unos 80 años, vieras, jorobado, el pobre y todo. A mí me gusta ayudar, ¿verdad? Veo que están en la calle, así a una orilla, con otro señor en mountain bike, el señor en ruta, el viejito. Y entonces paro, pregunto qué les pasó y la cadena. Tranquilo, saco la herramienta, lo agarro, arreglo y veo yo que la cadena no le queda, pero no, le faltaba como un pedazo de cadena, no le daba. Era demasiado corta. Y yo, señor, pero ¿dónde andaba usted? En Grecia. ¿Cómo hizo para venir, verdad? O sea, ¿cómo? Y entonces le digo, no, venga, y le pongo la mano y me lo traigo empujado, ¿verdad?
¿Hasta dónde?
No, llegamos arriba después de Tacares y se reventó la cadena. Entonces yo, ay, qué culero. Y papi, venga acá, hágame un favor. Si no, tenía que venirme aquí e irme en el carro. Pero, por eso le digo, nos gusta ayudar. Mi papi recogió al señor, se lo trajo para acá, de la bici la agarramos, buscamos una cadena, le montamos una cadena. Yo sí le dije que había que cambiarla después, que tenía que revisarla más ya en el ciclo, pero por lo menos, igual fuimos a dejarlo hasta la casa, pero por lo menos le quedó la bicicleta armada, con las cosas que uno logre tener y que se puedan pues dar, y que es la idea. No es algo que pase todos los días de que alguien esté, pero igual aquí pasan las personas, buenas, aquí es donde viven los que andan en bici y no tienen un neumático, no tienen un parche, es que ocupo inflar, algo, es que se me jodió la bicicleta. Entonces, aquí nos dicen como los de las bicicletas, ¿entiendes? Joel, el de las bicis.
Qué bueno.
Entonces, uno pasa y trata de, y como...
Espera un segundo para traducir, es mucho.
Okay, es mucho.
Entonces, he was just saying, how special it is to be part of this event, that we're coming down here every 4 months with another group. He has an opportunity to learn, and the shared cultures and the shared experiences is really important. And then on the charity piece, that, you know, there's people in need here that need things, whether it's a wheel or a chain or, you know, or a component, that and right now what's happening is some of the crew is going to go through the gear that we brought here and figure out what stuff can be purposed to which rider. So they'll go through that today, but also they'll just inventory some of the stuff here. And people in this community know that this bunker is a bike shop, an informal bike shop, where if they need a tube, if they need a tire, if they need a chain, that this is a place that they can rely on. And the story he was telling was he was 15K away near Gracia, and he saw a guy, an older gentleman, on a mountain bike, one guy on a mountain bike, one guy on a road bike. Y él en montaña tenía cadena quebrada. And one of the guys on the mountain bike had a broken chain, and he had his tool on him, so he's like, oh, let me help you fix your chain. So he's got all his stuff out, and he's working on it. Well, the chain is missing like 6 inches worth of chain space, so he couldn't get it back together. Who knows what happened with that, but he pushed him back, one hand on the back, pushed him, got him close to Alajuela, called Joel.
Va a recogerlo.
En carro.
Ajá.
Sí. So Joel jumped in his car, went out, picked up the gentleman with his bike that had no chain. Bizcocho rode back to the bunker. Joel gets back here. They find that they got one of the chains they have in inventory, likely from the stuff we've brought down. And the gentleman gets back up on the road. It's a community. It's a paying it forward. It's giving back. It's being available. It's being open. So they got that gentleman back on the road, and he just said, people around here just know that if they need help with a bike or if they need a part, this is the place to go.
And so, yeah, I mean, and I think I hope what the listeners are picking up here is just the selflessness that we're seeing here, and also the abundance mindset that nothing needs to be hoarded, that it's all here to be shared, and that everybody deserves to be on a bike who wants to be on a bike, whether that's getting to work or getting up Sacramento Barva like we did today. Once a year is fine. Plenty, by the way, for that ascent. Just really grateful how welcoming they have been for BJ and I, and just the deep love that we feel. And, it's a year in between seeing them. We're very, very grateful for the bunker here and all that they're providing for so many people that we'll never meet and we'll never know. But the trickle effect is real, and it can't be measured, but it most certainly can be felt. And we feel that here at the bunker.
Dice que está súper agradecida de la familia que ustedes son para nosotros, que todo está abierto, el nivel de amor, el nivel de apoyo, el nivel de que ustedes cuidan a otros, a los ciclistas aquí, a la familia en esa comunidad que quieren andar en bici, y que para estar aquí de parte de ella es muy especial ver todo lo que ustedes ofrecen al grupo y a la comunidad.
No, excelente, de verdad, muchísimas gracias a ustedes, porque nosotros más bien les agradecemos, porque si ustedes no vienen, no se hace esto. Vamos a seguir andando en bicicleta, el grupo de los puñales y todo va a seguir saliendo, pero esta es una parte extra, esta es la parte de los gringos, como les di, cada 4 meses estar aquí, reunirnos, a veces es difícil. Esta vez no pude participar, la vez pasada sí, llegué tercero en el Alto del Aguacate, pero esta vez no pude, se me complicó por el trabajo, pero uno trata de hacer siempre el esfuerzo, trata de estar y ayudar y compartir con todos para que se sientan también parte, pues, de la familia, del grupo, y pues de todo el resto unidos, y tratar de ayudar a los que se pueda, a los que estén. A veces es difícil, hay que ver, analizar, porque si uno da mucho, se abusan, pero hay que decir que papi, el viejo, es el que se encarga de analizar y ver ahí.
He was just talking about how Joel is really the leader of this group. He's the one that's going to figure out which stuff belongs in which hands and how he can help the most riders stay on the road and support those who are committed and are part of this group, and how special it is that this event happens 4 times a year and that it wouldn't happen unless we were here, and very, very thankful that he's able to be a part of it.
Gracias, bizcocho.
Thank you. How are you?
Muchas gracias, bizcocho.
Mucho gusto a ustedes.
Gracias.
Oh, the love is happening.
Y el último es Humberto, creo. ¿Dónde está?
Humberto? One more. Humberto.
One more and then Joel.
Oh, good. Now I finally know what his name is. I keep going, who?
Campeón.
Humberto. Hola. It's been such a joy to ride with him. He always has a big smile. And my question for Humberto is, how the bunker has helped him.
Dice que qué gusto cletear contigo, siempre sonriendo, siempre con buena actitud. Y la pregunta es, ¿cómo el apoyo del búnker, de Joel, del grupo, cómo ha ayudado a la vida suya?
Oh.
¿Qué significa? He's got goosebumps just from the question. Sí. That's how special this place is.
Sí, para mí ha sido algo muy, muy importante a nivel personal.
Ajá.
Creo que me ha ayudado a salir de muchos problemas personales.
Uh-huh.
Esto ha sido realmente para mí una bendición. Es salir de muchas cosas, de muchos problemas y dedicarle tiempo al ciclismo,
uh-huh,
a compartir, a sentir que uno viene y es bienvenido aquí a un grupo, a unas personas que lo tratan bien,
uh-huh,
con esa amabilidad que siempre es bienvenido, bien recibido. Entonces, para mí en lo personal ha sido muy, muy importante el grupo en sí. Joel y el grupo han sido de mucho apoyo.
Qué bueno.
De mucho apoyo.
He's talking really from a personal standpoint that he had some challenges, some personal challenges, and this was a healthy outlet for him to be on his bike, be with supportive people, be part of this community, and Joel specifically leading this group, how special that's been for him to feel good about himself, for him to get past some personal challenges that he's had. So for him, this is a very profound and important place, the bunker in general, and for him to be here right now.
Oh my gosh, I think I've cried 3 times already in this podcast. Gracias, Humberto. Gracias. So good to know him.
Absolutely. Dice que muchas gracias por compartir con nosotros y conocer un poco de su vida. ¿Hay algo más del búnker que significa para ti?
Creo que en sí, en resumen, el búnker significa crecimiento personal, siempre bienvenido, siempre dispuesto a superarse, a mejorarse. Creo que todas las personas que llegan aquí y son parte del grupo tienen algo bueno que decir.
Uh-huh.
Siempre son bienvenidos.
Y buena gente.
Buena gente, sí. En sí, estamos muy agradecidos por la visita. Siempre vamos a estar contentos por todo lo que comparten con nosotros, uh-huh, ya sean cosas que nos traen, y el intercambio de cultura, uh-huh, es muy importante, uh-huh, es bonito para nosotros.
Super.
Mostrarles nuestro país, que lo disfruten, y si es en bicicleta, mejor todavía.
Uh-huh.
Entonces, siempre vamos a estar contentos de recibirlos y muy agradecidos.
He says they'll always be ready to welcome us with open arms, that the exchange, the cultural exchange in our group with the local group and the foreign group is something that's very special to him. The group for him has always been about personal growth. It's always been about making yourself a better person and a better athlete both. There's always been support for personal growth, growth on the bike, being a better athlete, but all of that has been a huge part of what the bunker has meant to him. And he looks forward to these challenges, to these events. And, the opportunity, even with this event for personal growth, is something that he understands and appreciates.
Gracias.
Un gusto.
Yes. Oh, hugs. Hugs are happening. All right, Dan, maybe you and I should wrap this up. We were just getting the wrap it up signal from our videographers.
Perfect.
Yeah, I mean, this has just been amazing. I hope that the listeners enjoy this and to just feel and hear the rhythm of the language and perhaps even experience what we experience on the bike, which is, you can feel the personalities and you can feel the love without understanding the words.
Exactly. We talked about it before. It's cultural immersion using the bicycle as the vehicle for that. But I mean, this is what it's all about. It's giving back. It's sharing the road. It's being able to see a beautiful country like this with beautiful people is something that's really, really special.
Oh my gosh, this has been amazing. Thanks so much for being my co-host.
Thank you.
I don't know,
Thank
BJ
you.
might get demoted.